All right, tech enthusiasts, buckle up. We're diving headfirst into the world of nothing. And trust me, it's anything but ordinary. Are you tired of the same old boring smartphone designs? Do you crave something that actually stands out from the crowd? Because nothing might just have the answer. We're at Mobile World Congress 2025, and the buzz is all about the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro. For too long, the mid-range market has been a sea of sameness. Can nothing disrupt this? Let's find out. These aren't just phones, they're statements. But are they statements worth making? Let's get into it. So let's talk design. Nothing is sticking to its guns with the transparent aesthetic. It's their signature, and it's what makes their phones instantly recognizable. We've got the glyph interface lighting up the back, exposed ribbon cables, and those little screws that give it that industrial vibe. The Nothing Phone 3A measures 6.40 by 3.01 by 0.33 inches and weighs 7.09 ounces. The Nothing Phone 3A Pro is slightly larger at 6.43 by 3.05 by 0.35 inches and weighs 7.37 ounces. Both feel pretty good in hand. The Pro's larger camera bump does make it a little top-heavy, but it's not a deal-breaker. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, okay, it looks cool, but is it practical? And that's a fair question. The glyph interface, as I've said before, is arguably more fun than functional, but it's undeniably cool. It can act as a music visualizer, a volume indicator, and even a notification system. It's a conversation starter for sure. Nothing knows that their design isn't for everyone, and they're okay with that. They're catering to a specific audience who wants something different, something bold. Are you part of that audience? Both the 3A and 3A Pro boast 6.77-inch OLED displays with a 2392 by 1080 pixel resolution. They also have an adaptive refresh rate up to 120 Hz and a peak brightness of 3000 nits when playing HDR content. That's seriously bright. The selfie camera is centered at the top, and we've got an under-display fingerprint sensor for security. The back is now covered in Panda Glass, a step up from the polycarbonate used in previous models. This adds to the premium feel and should improve durability. Let's talk about that camera bump. This is where we see the biggest external difference between the two models. The 3A has a pill-shaped module that kind of tapers away from the body. The 3A Pro, on the other hand, has a massive circular bump surrounded by aluminum. It's definitely a statement piece. Which do you prefer? The subtle curve of the 3A or the bold circle of the 3A Pro? For durability, both devices are IP64 rated, meaning they're dust-tight and resistant to water splashes. That's not quite the best you can get, but it's decent enough for everyday use. Connectivity-wise, both models support 5G, Bluetooth 5.4, and Wi-Fi 6. The 3A Pro also supports eSIM, which is a nice bonus for travelers. Now, here's a question for you. How important is eSIM support to you? Is it a must-have feature or something you can live without? All right, let's talk about something new, the Essential Key. This button is located just below the power button on the right side of both models. It's got a glossy finish, so it's easy to find by touch. A single tap takes a screenshot, which you can then annotate. Holding it down records a voice memo. Tap it twice, and you're taken to the Essential Space app, which houses your screenshots and voice memos with transcriptions. You can organize everything into collections. Nothing plans to use AI to analyze and organize the information you capture in the future. It's an interesting concept, but will it actually be useful? The Essential Key's placement takes some getting used to. It's right below the power button. But Nothing Smartly lets you launch Google Assistant or Gemini AI with a long press of the power button. This kind of customization is key, so it doesn't feel like a useless gimmick. What do you think? Is the Essential Key a game changer, or just another button to ignore? Under the hood, both the 3A and 3A Pro are powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 7's Gen 3. Compared to the Nothing Phone 2A, this new chip is 33% faster, and GPU performance is 11% better. That's a solid boost. Both phones come with 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of internal storage. That's plenty of memory for multitasking and storing all your photos and videos. Now, let's talk battery life. Both phones have 5,000 mAh batteries and support 50W wired charging. Nothing claims that you can go from 1% to 100% in just 56 minutes with a compatible charger. That's pretty impressive. Battery life is a critical factor for most of us. Are you willing to sacrifice some design flair for better performance and battery life? Let me know in the comments. Now, for the main event, the cameras. This is where the 3A and 3A Pro really diverge. The Nothing Phone 3A has a 50MP main camera, f/1.88, an 8MP ultra-wide camera, f/2.2, and a 50MP 2x telephoto lens, f/2.0. The selfie camera is 32MP, f/2.2, and video capture max is out at 4K 30 frames per second on the rear and 1080p 60 frames per second on the front. The Nothing Phone 3A Pro steps things up with a 50MP main camera, f/1.88, an 8MP ultra-wide, f/2.2, and a 50MP 3x periscope telephoto lens, f/2.55. It also supports 6x lossless zoom, 60x ultra zoom, and a dedicated macro mode. The selfie camera gets an upgrade to 50MP, and both front and rear cameras support 4K at 30 frames per second. The Pro's camera array definitely sounds more versatile. But megapixels aren't everything. It's all about the image processing and software. Both phones use Nothing's TrueLens Engine 3.0, which should enhance lowlight and HDR performance. We didn't have enough time to take a ton of photos, but the image quality looks promising at first glance. What are your thoughts? Is the camera the most important feature of a smartphone for you? The TrueLens Engine 3.0 leverages computational photography techniques, including multi-frame processing and semantic segmentation, to optimize image quality in various lighting conditions. Multi-frame processing involves capturing multiple images with slightly different exposures and then merging them to create a single image with a wider dynamic range. Semantic segmentation, on the other hand, involves identifying and labeling different objects in the image, such as people, sky, and trees, and then applying different processing techniques to each object to enhance its appearance. These techniques are crucial for achieving high-quality images, especially in challenging lighting conditions. For example, in low-light scenarios, the TrueLens Engine 3.0 can reduce noise and improve detail by using multi-frame processing to capture more light. In high-contrast scenes, it can use semantic segmentation to adjust the exposure of different objects in the image, ensuring that both the highlights and shadows are well exposed. So what's the verdict? The Nothing Phone 3A is priced at $379, and the 3A Pro is $459. To get either of these phones in the US, you have to go through Nothing's US beta program exclusively. This makes it a little harder to get your hands on them, but it also adds to the exclusivity. We're going to put these phones through their paces to see if they're really something special. Are these Nothing phones really something, or just another flash in the pan? That's what we aim to find out. The mid-range market is getting more and more competitive, with phones like the Samsung Galaxy A56 offering similar features at a comparable price point. The Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro need to really stand out to justify their price tags. The Samsung Galaxy A56, for example, offers a 6.7-inch screen, a 5,000 mAh battery, a 50MP camera, and an IP67 rating for dust and water resistance, all for $499. The Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro need to offer something more than just a unique design to win over consumers. What do you think? Are the Nothing phones worth the price of admission? Let us know in the comments below. Ultimately, the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro are interesting contenders in the mid-range market. They offer a unique design, solid performance, and capable cameras. But whether they're worth the hype depends on your priorities. If you value a distinctive look and a conversation-starting device, then these phones might be right up your alley. But if you're more concerned with raw performance and the best possible camera, then you might want to consider other options. We'll be putting these phones through rigorous testing to give you a definitive answer. So, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our full review. And in the meantime, let us know what you think about the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro in the comments below. Are you excited about these phones? Are you planning to buy one? We want to hear from you.